Today's topic is beta-lactam antibiotics. As the name indicates, these are the antibiotics that are having beta-lactam ring. So, because of that beta-lactam ring, these antibiotics are called as beta-lactam antibiotics. Here, what we are going to see here is two types of beta-lactam antibiotics are there, that is penicillin and cephalosporin. Here, penicillin and cephalosporins. Related to these beta-lactam antibiotics, we are going to see classification, mechanism of action, regular points, antimicrobial spectrum, selectivity, resistance, adverse effects, and therapeutic uses. Coming to penicillin, it is the first antibiotic which was started in clinical use in 1941. As you know, it was a chance or accidental discovery, and through that means when for certain other experiment the mold was prepared and it was found that there was inhibition of certain things, and that was because of the penicillin. Now these are earlier what we have seen: sulfonamide, quinolones, cotrimoxazole. They all were synthetic antibacterial compounds. I have earlier told you difference between synthetic and natural. So natural antimicrobial, we are calling it as antibiotic. So penicillin was amongst the first antibiotic. Now naturally it is obtained from, earlier it was obtained from P. notatum. Also it is obtained from Penicillium chrysogenum. Nowadays, since Penicillium chrysogenum is responsible for high yield of penicillin. So what we are doing is, current source of penicillin is from Penicillium chrysogenum, not from Penicillium notatum. Now these penicillins, as we have seen, they come under beta-lactam antibiotic. Why? This is because, as shown here, you can see the beta-lactam ring, fused thiazolidine ring and beta-lactam ring, to which side chains are attached through amide linkage. This is the amide linkage. So activity of the penicillin is because of beta-lactam ring. Activity means there are two parts. What we can say is the two parts are related to potency and pharmacokinetic properties. So related to potency, you can go for beta-lactam antibiotic or beta-lactam ring. Now side chain, what we can see in case of penicillin is natural penicillins are obtained from microorganisms. Semi-synthetic penicillins which are currently in use, they are obtained from natural penicillins with certain modifications. How do you do the modifications? The modifications are done on the basis of attachment of various side chains. So side chain of natural penicillin can be split off by amidase to produce basic structure called as 6-amino-penicillinic acid. This basic structure is then changed into different semi-synthetic penicillins by attaching various side chains. So various compounds having unique antibacterial activity and different pharmacokinetic profiles can be obtained, and those all compounds, they are called as semi-synthetic penicillins. So first, in penicillin you should remember 2 points, that is natural penicillins and semi-synthetic penicillins. Now after this, we are going to discuss first natural penicillins. So natural penicillin is called as benzyl penicillin. So antibacterial spectrum, narrow spectrum of activity, that means related, or they are responsible for inhibition of only particular species. So here, what is that particular? It is related to gram-positive bacteria, cocci and bacilli. We will come to mechanism of action. There I will explain you why they are specific to gram-positive bacteria. Now here, coming to mechanism of action, as I told you earlier, first thing you have to mention is whether the drug is bacteriostatic or the drug is bactericidal. Here, penicillin is bactericidal because it interferes with synthesis of bacterial cell wall. Bacteria cannot survive without presence of cell wall. Since they cannot survive without cell wall, the action is bactericidal. Now, how penicillin inhibit the bacterial cell wall synthesis? This you have to remember, or this you have to understand in detail, because what happens in exam, if the question is there, or in Viva, wherever you come across with penicillin, whether what is the mechanism of action of penicillin, in that students just mention that penicillin inhibit bacterial cell wall synthesis. However, since we are studying course of final year, it is expected that students at this level should elaborate in detail synthesis or mechanism of that particular drug. Here, they should elaborate how they inhibit the synthesis. So inhibition of synthesis takes place, cell wall synthesis takes place by acting on two units. They are called as UDP-NAM and UDP-NAG. That is UDP-N-acetylmuramic acid pentapeptide and UDP-N-acetylglucosamine. These are the two strings bacteria synthesize. These strings, or these are the chains where they are separate one. Got this? They are linked together by particular steps, and once they link together, it is called as cross-linking of cell wall. That gives integrity to the cell wall. So how this takes place? This is the cell wall, N-acetylmuramic acid and N-acetylglucosamine as shown here. N-acetylmuramic acid and N-acetylglucosamine. N-acetylmuramic acid attached to 5 proteins. So they are called as the pentapeptide. You can see these are the two different chains. When they combine, what happens? Terminal D-alanine is split off by the action of transpeptidase, and these residues, this links to this and D-alanine splits off. After taking place, this is called as the cross-linking of cell wall in bacteria. So in bacteria, natural process which is taking place is cross-linking of cell wall. Why cross-linking needs? Cross-linking is needed because cross-linking is necessary to maintain the integrity of cell wall. So once again, I repeat, units of N-acetylmuramic acid and N-acetylglucosamine are there. One unit is attached to another unit. In this manner, units are attached, but for attachment, because attachment is necessary for cross-linking of cell wall. So what happens is, as shown in that diagram, final stage is removal or cleavage of terminal D-alanine residue by enzyme transpeptidase. During this process, energy is released, and that energy is utilized for establishment of cross-linkages between peptide chains of neighboring strands. Now this is important because this is responsible for cross-linkages and giving strength to the cell wall. Beta-lactam antibiotics, what they do? They inhibit the enzyme transpeptidase. For what transpeptidase is needed? Transpeptidase is needed for cleavage of terminal D-alanine so that cross-linking can be formed. So beta-lactam antibiotic, by inhibiting transpeptidases, they inhibit cross-linking, and therefore, because of this inhibition of cross-linking, the cell wall, whatever the cell is formed, that cell is called as cell wall deficient forms. These cell wall deficient forms are not able to survive because these cell wall deficient forms are not having integrity. So any material from outside can come to the cell, or any important material from the cell can go out. In this manner, the osmotic processes which should be normal, they are disturbed, and in this process, that particular damaged cell is swelling. After particular swelling, it bursts, and therefore the cell wall lysis or cell lysis takes place. In this manner, bactericidal action is taking place. So penicillins are bactericidal in nature. I will again repeat, I will again repeat the mechanism. Are you able to understand whatever I am explaining?
Yes, ma'am.
We will again repeat. Bactericidal action, it is because of inhibition of cross-linking. Now, why cross-linking takes place? The cross-linking is mainly because of combining of two strands. The strands are N-acetylmuramic acid attached with pentapeptide and single unit of N-acetylglucosamine. While cross-linking formation, it is necessary that terminal D-alanine residue should be split off so that energy will be released. That energy will be utilized for formation of cross-linking. Since penicillin is inhibiting enzyme transpeptidases, so it is not possible to cleave the terminal D-alanine residue, so energy will not be released. Establishment of cross-linkage will not take place and the cell wall becomes incomplete. It will not be having the strength. So such cell wall is called as, you cannot call it as a cell wall, it is a cell wall deficient forms. These cell wall deficient forms swell because anything can enter the cell or anything can go out of the cell. So these cell wall forms, cell wall deficient forms swell and they burst. That results in bacterial lysis of the cell wall. So bactericidal action takes place. Now, one of the characteristic of penicillin is that it is rapidly acting or it is highly effective. Why this is taking place? Because rapid cell wall synthesis occurs when bacteria are multiplying. In other words, when you give penicillin, it is acting on highly multiplying organisms. So it is responsible for killing large number of organisms which are present in the human body. So it is highly effective drug since long time. So these drugs are lethal in growing phase. Now, one other characteristic of penicillin is one of the characteristic I told you is that it is active when bacteria or organisms are multiplying. Another characteristic is I have told it is narrow spectrum, and there I have written that it is effective on gram-positive bacteria than gram-negative. Now, why this is there? This is because in gram-positive bacteria, the cell wall is entirely made up of peptidoglycan layer. And target of penicillin is peptidoglycan layer. Peptidoglycan layer is made up of N-acetylmuramic acid and N-acetylglucosamine. So it is acting on large amount of target is available in case of gram-positive bacteria, whereas in gram-negative bacteria, there are alternative layers of lipoprotein and peptidoglycan. So if you consider gram-positive bacteria 100% peptidoglycan, you can see in gram-negative it is 50%. So gram-positive bacteria, they are highly thick and mainly comprised of peptidoglycan layer where transpeptidase enzyme is involved, and target of penicillin is transpeptidase enzyme. This difference makes them more susceptible towards gram-positive bacteria. So as shown here, you can see in gram-positive bacteria, this layer is peptidoglycan layer. In gram-negative, peptidoglycan layer is half because it is made up of lipoproteins. Alternative layers of this peptidoglycan and lipoprotein. Here, overall cell wall is fully made up of peptidoglycan layer. This, because of this difference, penicillin is more effective on gram-positive bacteria than gram-negative bacteria. Coming to our another point, after finishing mechanism of action, that is bacterial sensitivity or selectivity. Why they are sensitive towards bacteria and not to human being? Now, I will, it should be noted that penicillins are the most safe drug you can consider amongst all the antibacterials we are using at present. That means they are having very high therapeutic index. You should know the terminology therapeutic index for your competitive exams. Anywhere you will come to know. So what is therapeutic index? Therapeutic index means it is the ratio of what you can say, the ratio you can determine by calculating ED50 and LD50. ED50 means the dose shown effectiveness in 50% of population, LD50, the dose that kills 50% of the population. So therapeutic index is showing the range of safety of a particular drug. So penicillin is having very high therapeutic index, more than 90. And the drug which is having very low therapeutic index is Digitalis. Just the topic is there, so I have shared this information. So the reason for telling this is that it is highly safe. So why it is so safe to human when it is bactericidal to microorganisms? The reason is we do not have cell wall, we are having cell membrane, and peptidoglycan cell wall. It is the unique component of bacteria. It is the component, or it is unique component of bacteria. So peptidoglycan is the target for penicillin, and that is the reason you can see the safety of penicillin. Coming to bacterial resistance, now bacterial resistance has emerged to penicillin, because of which there is need for development of semi-synthetic penicillin. So we are discussing all these things related to prototype compound, as I had written, that is penicillin G. It is also called as benzyl penicillin. So bacterial resistance is mainly because of the, now one thing I have not cleared, that when penicillin acts, means when they binds to transpeptidase, what happens is, first penicillin has to enter the cell and bind to specific sites. Those sites are called as penicillin binding sites. Okay, so these penicillin binding sites, for majority of the bacteria, they are having a placement which is near to cell wall. Okay, so once penicillin enters the cell wall, it reaches to penicillin binding proteins, and thereafter it exhibits its mechanism of action. Here what happens, in case of resistance, certain bacteria, they develop such cell structure that the penicillin binding proteins are located deeper under lipoprotein barrier. So penicillin G cannot cross that barrier, and therefore it is, even though the patient is taking penicillin, it will not show the effect. Not only penicillin binding proteins, but also the target enzyme. What is the target enzyme? You have to recall yourself or remind yourself. The target enzyme is transpeptidase. What I told you, it is the target for penicillin. So first thing is related to, now low affinity. Certain drugs, certain bacteria show low affinity for penicillin G, and in certain cases you can see drugs produces penicillinase, an enzyme which is responsible for cleavage of beta-lactam ring. As discussed earlier, beta-lactam ring is the active component of penicillin. So if beta-lactam ring gets broken, what happens? Penicillin will not be effective anymore. So three reasons are there for bacterial resistance. First reason is, whatever the target things are there, those are located deeper so that penicillin cannot reach to that site. Second is, there is less affinity for penicillin G towards the target enzymes. And third is, main reason is production of penicillinase. So considering this, whatever the what you can consider the limitations, or whatever these flaws are there, those are overcome in next production. That means when semi-synthetic penicillins were produced, that time it was considered now students are still trying to attempt. I don't understand that the timing should be followed. It is just making the disturbances. Coming to pharmacokinetics, till now we have seen chemistry of penicillin, mechanism of action, then certain characteristics of penicillin, reason for selectivity, and resistance. Coming to pharmacokinetics. So one more drawback of penicillin is it is acid labile, it is destroyed by gastric acid. So that has to be kept in mind. Less than 1/3 of oral dose is absorbed. So given by intramuscular route earlier when penicillin G was given by intramuscular route, because of which the absorption could be rapid and complete. It has the characteristic extracellular distribution. It reaches most of the body fluids, however, cannot reach to serous cavities and cerebrospinal fluid. So in pharmacokinetics, again I repeat, every drug has particular significant characteristics. Here the characteristics are related to absorption, that the drug is not absorbed properly, so it is given by intramuscular route. So that particular characteristic for all the drugs you have to keep in mind. In case of sulfonamides, for example, we have seen that how crystal urea was formed and how the metabolism was hampered. So that was the case. Here you have to remember related to inability or its characteristic acid labile nature. Now continuing with pharmacokinetics, related to plasma protein binding, penicillin has 60% tendency. However, metabolism is little because one of the characteristic pattern of penicillin is that it is rapidly excreted by tubular secretion. So you must have gone through drug interactions in second year or third year. In that, one of the drug interaction is there which can be considered as beneficial drug interaction. So that is penicillin with probenecid. So what is probenecid? It is an organic acid which is also having same characteristic of penicillin. The characteristic is that the drug is also get excreted by tubular secretion. So how you make use of this drug interaction? Suppose you want to prolong the action of penicillin, but you cannot prolong it because whenever you give penicillin, it is getting rapidly excreted by tubular secretion. Now, the solution is when you give penicillin with probenecid, what happens? Instead of penicillin, probenecid will get secreted by tubular site. So that site will not be available for penicillin. So penicillin will remain in the circulation for longer time whenever it is needed. Are you getting this discussion, students? Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Huh.
Yes, ma'am.
So pharmacokinetics, all these small points like interaction with probenecid, it may not be asked in detail in exam, but for competitive exam, for any kind of simple knowledge, you should always go on brushing these kind of things, that one line sentence or two line sentence, what happens. So here effect of penicillin can be prolonged by simultaneous administration of probenecid with penicillin. Now, penicillin G is available because of its tendency of acid labile nature. Various preparations of penicillins have been prepared or have been in market. So one of the preparation is sodium penicillin G. Now, sodium penicillin G is a crystalline penicillin and it is injected by intramuscular or IV route. Now, I have written only 2 points under sodium penicillin G. If the question comes on sodium penicillin G, you have to write about penicillin G, and then you have to mention only these two differentiating characteristics or preparation of that particular thing. Another is, okay, it is, I think, repeated. Second is repository penicillin G. So it is the insoluble salt of penicillin G, which is specifically prepared for injection route by deep intramuscular injection. It releases, its characteristic is that it releases penicillin G slowly at the site of injection. So again, limitation of penicillin G is overcome here by slow release of penicillin from the site of injection, because penicillin G is short acting. So that can be overcome. Another is procaine penicillin G. It is the aqueous suspension, as the name indicates, since it is in the suspension form, it releases slowly and sustainable form. It is given available, the penicillin will be available for 12 to 24 hours given by intramuscular route. Another preparation, an important one, that is benzathine penicillin. It is the aqueous suspension. It releases penicillin extremely slowly and the plasma concentration of penicillin can be maintained for up to 4 weeks. So have you seen the difference between the preparations? One of the preparation is sodium penicillin G, where the preparation is given by in the crystalline form and injected by intramuscular or IV route to prolong the action of penicillin for a few hours. Further, to prolong the action more, it is given as repository penicillin in the form of insoluble salts. For more prolongation, that is for 1 day, it is given as procaine penicillin, and to prolong it for 4 weeks, it is given as benzathine penicillin. In this manner, you have to remember the characteristic of these penicillin preparations. For short questions, that means as per your paper pattern, for 3 marks or 5 marks, the question can be there, like elaborate on preparations of penicillin. So you have to remember these preparations along with their characteristics. Coming to adverse effects of penicillin. Now here in adverse effects, direct toxicity, local irritancy. As I told you, penicillin is the most safe drug amongst currently used antimicrobial agents. So obviously the toxicity, whatever toxicity is mentioned, is not lethal. So direct toxicity means whatever route you are giving, that is responsible for direct toxicity can be related to oral, that means GI upset. Local irritancy means if other than oral route, if you are giving by injection, so if the injection route is intramuscular, then pain at the site. If the route is intravenous, thrombophlebitis. Have you heard the name? I hope. Thrombophlebitis means whatever is the site of injection is there, you get inflammation. Once you start repeated injections, the site gets inflamed. Hypersensitivity is the common adverse effect associated with penicillin, that is unpredictable. You cannot predict that last time the hypersensitivity was not there, so this time also it won't be there. It cannot, that will be ruled out. So unpredictable, and it is shown in the form of rash, itching, urticaria, fever. Very rare cases it shows anaphylactic reaction. However, if given by parenteral route, it is common. And one more reaction, very specific, that is called as Jerisch-Hexemer reaction. So what is Jerisch-Hexemer reaction? It is occurring in case of patients who had syphilis earlier. So generally secondary syphilis patients, it is occurring. If these patients have been given particularly injection form of penicillin, what happens? Those patients immediately show the symptoms